We all know about the lost city of Atlantis. If you've ever seen the movie The Rescuers, then you probably think that it was an underwater city. But before Disney created their version of Atlantis, the story came from the philosopher Plato, who wrote about it in 360 BC. Plato said that the city was so advanced that its people had developed weapons that could control the weather, which is why they were eventually destroyed by a devastating flood. In his story, Plato describes a powerful empire with grand palaces, lush gardens, and towering walls made from precious metals like gold, silver, and ivory. It sounds too good to be true, but could there really be a lost city hiding somewhere? Maybe we just haven't found it yet. Hi, it's me and welcome to this channel. And today we're answering the extraordinary question, could the lost city of Atlantis actually exist? First off, let's talk about the source of our knowledge, Plato. You see, he wasn't exactly known for sticking to the truth. He was more interested in what could be true than what actually was. So when it came to Atlantis, he was creating more of a philosophical tool than a historical account. But regardless of his intentions, Plato's story has captured the imagination of many people over the years. According to Plato, the city was founded around 9000 BC and was located in the Atlantic Ocean. It was ruled by a king named Atlas and was home to a utopian society. The people were intelligent, honest, and lived in peace and harmony. They had a strong military and were skilled in arts and sciences. The city itself was massive, surrounded by high walls and protected by a moat. The buildings were made out of marble and gold, and the streets were paved with silver. Life in Atlantis was pretty sweet. Now here's where things get weird. According to Plato, the Atlanteans got a little too powerful and decided to invade the rest of Europe. Luckily for us, the gods didn't take too kindly to this and sent a massive earthquake and tsunami to wipe out the city. Now there's no evidence to support any of this, so it's up to you to decide how much of it you want to believe. Some say it was just a story to teach people about the dangers of greed and war. Others believe that there may be some truth to it, and that Atlantis really did exist. If you fall into the second category, then you're going to love this next part, because we've compiled a list of 10 shocking discoveries that might prove that the lost city of Atlantis could be real. Number 10. Plato's description of Atlantis is eerily similar to the biblical account of the Great Flood. In both stories, a powerful city is destroyed by a natural disaster. This could be a coincidence, or there could be some truth to the story. Who knows? Number 9. There are ancient texts from other cultures that tell of a great flood. This lends some credibility to the story of Atlantis, but it's hard to say if it's enough to convince everyone. Number 8. There have been several alleged sightings of the lost city. Of course, none of these can be confirmed, but they make for interesting stories nonetheless. For example, in 1882, a man named Ignatius Donnelly published a book called Atlantis, the Antediluvian World. In it, he argued that Atlantis really did exist and that it was located somewhere in the North Atlantic. Donnelly claimed that he had discovered evidence of this lost civilization, including ancient artifacts and writings. However, none of his evidence has ever been verified. Number 7. More recently, in 2017, a man named Paul McCready came forward with his own discovery. McCready is a former owner of a company that specializes in deep-sea exploration. And according to him, he has found the lost city of Atlantis. Now, you might be thinking that I'm making this up, but I'm not. McCready claims to have found evidence of a lost civilization at the bottom of the ocean. His team found pillars, walls, coins, and other artifacts that date back thousands of years. He believes that this is the lost city of Atlantis. However, this claim has also not been verified. Number 6. We haven't even scratched the surface of alleged discoveries related to Atlantis. Just take a look at this. Researchers from the University of Gothenburg used computer models to simulate Plato's description of Atlantis. Their findings suggest that the city could have been located in the Strait of Gibraltar. Other researchers believe that the city may have been located near the Greek island of Thera, which is now known as Santorini. And still others believe that it was actually a fictional creation by Plato with no basis in reality. Number 5. Ancient Greek historians like Herodotus and Strabo also wrote about Atlantis, lending some credibility to the story. They described Atlantis as a wealthy and powerful city that was home to a rich culture. This supports Plato's account of the city, but it's hard to say if it's enough to prove that it existed. Number 4. Some people believe that the destruction of Atlantis is recorded in the Bible in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. This is loosely supported by the fact that the Dead Sea Scrolls mention an event called the destruction of the cities, which some believe refers to the destruction of Atlantis. However, this is just speculation and there is no concrete evidence to support it. Number 3. Many conspiracy theorists believe that the elite class of Atlantis escaped the destruction of their city and went on to live in secret. They say that these people have managed to hide their identity and wealth from the world for thousands of years. Whether or not this is true is unknown, but it makes for an interesting story. No. 2. Supporters of Atlantis point to the fact that many world leaders and influential people seem to be following Plato's vision of Atlantis, building palaces and monuments that resemble the ones that were described in his writings. They also seem to be developing new technologies that could help them control the weather, just like the Atlanteans were said to have done. While this may seem like a far-fetched theory, it's hard to deny that there are some striking similarities between Plato's description of Atlantis and the actions of some world leaders. Number 1. Lastly, the global elite are also spending billions of dollars on projects to explore the ocean floor in search of ancient ruins. They've discovered many fascinating things, but nothing yet that could prove the existence of Atlantis. Maybe one day they'll find something, but until then we can only speculate. So do you believe that the lost city of Atlantis could really exist? Let me know in the comments below. I personally find it hard to believe that a city as advanced as Atlantis could have been destroyed without leaving any trace. But then again, we've only explored a small fraction of the ocean floor. Who knows what secrets it's hiding? What do you think? Is Atlantis real, or is it just a myth? Let me know in the comments below.